The sun was beginning its slow descent over New York City, painting the sky in streaks of gold and pink. Amidst the bustling crosswalks and the hum of city life, Lora walked briskly, a coffee in her hand and thoughts wandering somewhere between work and home. Her soft curls bounced lightly with each step, and her beige coat swayed with the rhythm of the crowd. She hadn't noticed the man walking toward her, yet when their eyes met for a brief, electrifying second, everything paused. John, tall, rugged, and striking in a casual denim jacket, felt something unfamiliar yet deeply compelling stir within him. Their eyes locked, a silent acknowledgement of curiosity, of recognition, perhaps of something more. The city around them continued in its ceaseless motion, but for a moment, time itself seemed to hesitate. He offered a subtle smile, just enough for her to notice, and she returned it, her heart catching somewhere between surprise and delight. It was a moment unremarkable to anyone else, yet unforgettable to them both. That fleeting connection would haunt their thoughts and subtly guide their steps in the days to come. 2 days later, fate intervened in the quietest possible way. Lora found herself in a downtown coffee shop, curled up by the window with a book in her hand. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the faint rustle of pages and soft chatter around her. She hadn't planned to see him again, yet here he was, standing at the counter, casually ordering a cappuccino. John's eyes met hers, and a genuine, surprised smile broke across his face. "Do you believe in coincidences?" he asked, his voice gentle but confident. Lora closed her book, laughing softly. "Not anymore," she replied. There was no rush, no pressure, just the quiet comfort of two souls noticing each other amidst the chaos of life. Their conversation began with small talk, but each word carried an unspoken curiosity. The city outside buzzed with energy, but within that small cafe, the world narrowed to the space they shared. Each laugh, each glance, built a bridge connecting them, fragile yet resilient. By the time they parted, they both knew something had begun, something neither wanted to name yet, but both felt. The rain began unexpectedly, a soft drizzle turning the streets into mirrored canvases, reflecting neon lights and umbrellas bobbing like tiny colorful islands. Lora and John found themselves trapped inside the same coffee shop again, as though the city itself conspired to keep them together. They shared a table near the window, watching droplets race each other down the glass. Conversation flowed effortlessly, touching on music, favorite books, travel, and dreams that seemed simultaneously ordinary and profound. The rain outside softened the world, creating a bubble where words mattered and silence was comforting. Each laugh, each shy glance, each brush of hands across the table, strengthened an invisible bond between them. They didn't need to acknowledge it. The quiet intimacy was enough. The storm outside mirrored the storm inside, a blend of uncertainty and excitement, fear and hope. By the time the rain stopped, hearts had shifted, quietly, irrevocably, toward each other. As dusk fell, they walked together along the bridge that overlooked the city. The skyline glowed orange and pink, and streetlights flickered on, casting long, warm shadows. Laura's laughter rang out, light and melodic, and John found himself watching her more than the view. The city stretched endlessly around them, but they existed in their own bubble, fingers brushing until hands intertwined naturally. Words became unnecessary. The rhythm of their steps, the soft sighs of the evening wind, and the occasional glance spoke volumes. Each step, each heartbeat was a small confession. The sky burned behind them, yet it was the connection between them that illuminated the evening. Later, in the quiet intimacy of Laura's apartment, laughter faded into soft conversation and then into silence. A lamp cast a warm glow across the living room, shadows dancing gently on the walls. They sat close, shoulders touching, hearts speaking in whispers. John told her about loneliness that lingered behind his smiles, the kind that few ever saw. Lora listened, her eyes soft, her hand brushing against his. Each confession, each vulnerability shared, pulled them closer. There were no sudden proclamations, no grand gestures, just the delicate acknowledgement that something fragile and precious was beginning to bloom between them. That night, love did not announce itself with fireworks. It arrived quietly, a subtle warmth that neither wanted to leave. On a rooftop, with the city sprawling endlessly beneath them, Lora rested her head on John's shoulder. The city's hum was distant, inconsequential, as if the skyline itself existed to frame this moment. Streetlights twinkled like stars borrowed from the heavens, reflecting in their eyes. John felt the steady beat of her heart against his chest, grounding him, anchoring him to a reality he had never quite known before. Lora felt the safety in his presence, the warmth that radiated from him like sunlight she could finally touch. They said nothing, yet everything was understood. In a city that never paused, they had found their own stillness, a moment suspended in the delicate balance between light and shadow, between fear and hope, between longing and fulfillment. The following morning was golden and soft, sunlight streaming through the large apartment windows. Lora and John cooked breakfast together, a chaotic symphony of laughter, spills, and stolen glances. John snapped a photo mid-laugh, capturing her in a moment of pure, unguarded joy. She caught him smiling at her, and the realization struck. These small, mundane moments were the ones that mattered most. The city outside was alive with endless possibilities, but inside their apartment, life felt infinite. Every laugh was a note in the quiet symphony of their growing affection. Love was not in the grand gestures. It was in the mess, the shared jokes, the gentle touches that lingered longer than necessary. But love is rarely linear. A misunderstanding cast a shadow, leaving Lora standing alone on rainy streets, umbrella in hand, neon lights reflecting her uncertainty. The city, usually comforting in its vibrancy, now felt cold, indifferent. Even love can falter when fear and pride take the lead. Messages went unanswered. Days stretched endlessly. Every familiar street corner felt empty without him. Every sound reminded her of laughter now absent. Yet beneath the anxiety and hurt, there remained a fragile hope, a quiet voice whispering that perhaps this storm could pass. Eventually, she dialed his number, thumb hovering nervously. The moment he answered, the weight of the silence dissolved. His voice, gentle and familiar, said only her name, but it carried warmth, apology, and longing. "Can we talk?" she whispered. "Always," he replied, and in that single word, miles of misunderstanding and distance melted away. Sometimes the hardest words are hello after goodbye. Yet they had spoken them, bridging a gap that had seemed insurmountable. They met on the Brooklyn Bridge at sunrise. Golden light enveloped them as they embraced, a quiet understanding passing between them. Forgiveness was not about erasing the past. It was about choosing love again, choosing to trust, to hope, to continue together. In the soft morning mist and the vast expanse of the city, they discovered that sometimes love's most profound moments are silent, tender, and everlasting.